The poetry of Robert Frost. He has a strange placement in American literature because chronologically and in terms of theme, he is a modernist writer, but as opposed to the vast majority of American modernist poets, he did not seek to be as, say, obviously experimental as T.S. Eliot or Ezra Pound. He preferred to preserve the formal poetic constraints. His poems are in traditional blank verse. But, big but, he uses the blank verse format to shape plain colloquial speech into blank verse, to make the poem seem natural and unplanned versus modernism's penchant for obscurity and difficulty. More on Frost's poetry. One forgets sometimes that it is carefully measured in blank verse, that is, unrhymed meter, some kind of unrhymed beat that follows syllable count and measure count, because it reads as so folksy and simple. But his take on formalism, that is, those traditional constraints of poetry, it was for him a move against life's chaos and disorder to make something permanent, one step backward taken, a momentary stay against confusion, as he described it. It was kind of an artistic resistance against the helplessness that one felt within the modernist attitude. So he approached modernism in a unique way, an oddly conservative way. And his personality, because of delayed later life success and numerous family tragedies, including children's deaths and nervous breakdowns, a bitter ambiguity is present in most of his poems, including his best-known poems. In other words, you read the poems and they might sound rather quaint at first, but then you detect an undercurrent that makes you second-guess its seemingly redemptive tone, and it's ultimately a bit of an ambiguous bummer. His poetry he makes use of natural scenery, like a traditional romantic poet, a European romantic poet would, but, again, the bitter ambiguity, he somehow manages to make it not transcendental. It is very earthbound and non-spiritual and atheistic. There is, in his own words, in nature, no expression, nothing to express. And three typical types of Frost poems, kind of like how there are three typical types of Dickinson poems. He has nature lyrics, dramatic monologues, in other words, the poem is just one character, one persona, going off at length, philosophically, at least in a rural sense, and just generalizing commentary about aspects of life in general.